let me preface this by we're in rural Minnesota, so I'm surrounded literally by soybean and corn fields, and our central Minnesota economy is really dictated on the how agriculture goes. When the farmers went 25 years ago, when the milk prices were high, farmers are putting money into things. When farmers are putting money into things, that means that our local business people are having to sell, or they're selling products and things and services, and houses are being built. There's more money in the area, and we could definitely see that. So when we came out of the kind of the later Bill Clinton years, and the economy had come back there into that, we were doing really quite well. And in the early 2000s, in those first years of the Bush his presidency, we were doing $2,000 shows, and we were doing them consistently and such because we had a higher agriculture. The bottom fell out of the agriculture community. Things tightened up tremendously, and then it was very, very difficult for us to book enough shows to keep our staff busy at that. And we were running a staff of, I think, had five DJs at the time. And all of our DJs were able to achieve those $2,000 shows. So it became an adjustment, kind of like what Cubby was referring to earlier. They want to stay busy, they want to do that, and they just need to have a show to book. And it just didn't work out for us. In time, through attrition and such, and just not having enough events, pretty much all of our staff moved on, and that was it. We went through another cycle of that in the coming through the 2008. We had a pretty solid year in the latter parts of the 2000s. Had a couple of decent years, and then the bottom fell out again on us. So then we went from having 20 times weddings. It fell down in the early teens. We were down again. It was just really difficult, and we've had these cycles. One thing that we see with the cycles is when things get tight in the rural area, for us in this area, I will see 10 DJs pop up. And now we're talking small towns where the 300, 500, 1,000 people in these small towns, and all of a sudden everyone's a DJ because they can make some extra money on the side, and they're doing that. Well, yes, they are not able to do things at the level I can do, and they don't have the experience and whatever. It doesn't, in many cases, matter because the people who went out to the bar, they saw them and they're like, "Oh wow, you can do my wedding for $300? Yeah, you're going to do my wedding," and that happens. And the biggest frustration we've had, especially as we've gotten away from Yellow Page being the spot to find, is that we don't even get we're not on a board. They don't call us and them. They basically found that $300 person, and that's who they booked. I bought gear off DJs who so many times who have folded after once the economy picked up again, and now they found a better job somewhere that they didn't have to work Saturday nights. They DJ for 2 or 3 years and are gone. That's been the cycle. Right now we're on the other end of the cycle here, where this year we've had a really good summer. Pricing hasn't, people haven't balked at pricing virtually at all. In many cases, they're like, "Okay, great. How do I put money? How do I get the retainer to you?" It's been a good year that way. And I'm looking into 2025, and I think we're going to still have a pretty solid year in 2025. But I also, again, we're in a rural area, and our prices and a lot of our commodities have kind of taken a nosedive here in the last number, because we've got a bumper crop of corn. There's more corn and there's more soybeans. They've had a great year. Yay, rah, rah. But when everybody has a great year, that means that the prices are driven down. So there's going to be that lag, and we're going to have that. And that might mean in 2 or 3 years from now, 2026, that I might have a difficult time. I might not be able to sell 20 weddings in 2026. By the end of that's what we're doing this year. So does that mean that I need to, offer something cheaper? Do I need to change things? I don't know. And I have to figure that out. But from years of experience in the rural area, these are huge factors. We don't have, there is manufacturing and things that are in this area, but there isn't the huge tech areas where some of those things that when the rural areas, but the tech and these other things are doing well. We don't have that. So it's become basically as the farms go, even though there's fewer farmers, but some of these larger farmers are still employing 30, 40, 50 people now because they're just huge operations. And when they are able to pay those people well and pay them overtime, and then they're building houses and they're doing this and doing that. All these things come together to run our rural areas and make those profitable. The years when they can't pay the overtime and they can't do that, those people, those 40 people working that farm, are now getting 2 speakers and a microphone, and they're out on a Saturday night, and they just will take some shows that we would have potentially been able to get if they wouldn't have been there. So from my perspective, I did change our prices. Generally, I put the 2025 price sheet together in May, and I will hand that out, or you send that out to 2025 inquiries. And then I get to a point about this time of the year that I will decide if I want to change it. Do I need to go up? Do I need to go down? Or is it going to stay the same? Generally, I kind of either, if I change the packages, it'll go up a little bit. But as far as if I add something and take something out of a package, it'll go up accordingly. And then I like to go up at least $100 just because of inflation and things, just to stay ahead of that. Then in the fall, this is the time to evaluate. Did I change it and go a direction I didn't like? I've changed my mind now, and I don't want to be adding bubbles to every one of my shows. I had blinky glow sticks over in this package, or this one. Maybe I don't want to do that anymore because it sucked, and I found out I did, whatever. This is where we reevaluate and we go into 2025. Where this bites me in the butt is that if I had somebody who booked it and they liked the blinky glow things, and then all of a sudden if I'm not offering it, and then I have to remember when I do their show, I have to take the blinky glow things. But that's just management and such, and just got to double check things. But as we sit right now, I'll probably be changing the pricing for 2025 and bumping it up just a little bit. But I'm really cautious and concerned about 2026, or where we're going to be, how that will pan out. If we will still have a strong rural economy, or if things will tighten up. And we're so far out, I can't make that prediction. I'll be figuring that out in April and May of next year, and try to figure out where we go. So.